In the top left of Oceanborn, it is Ryung, our red Terran player. And in the bottom right, we have Stats, just very recently coming back from military. And one of the broadest grades of old. Again, this is a no tap, no health bar cast, so this is a very experimental stuff I'm doing for myself, just to have some fun and maybe freshen up the game a little bit. See if it's a little bit more surprising, actually, or if we still see everything as we would and should otherwise. Alright, so far it's a very standard opening here for both players. So we've got the most likely Reaper expand. We're gonna see what pops out of the barracks in a second. And yeah, this is a quick command center, there we go, from Ryung, and a quick nexus on the other side from Stats. Of course, the cybernetic score is gonna be first here. Played just a tiny bit safe. Okay, so this is a marine opening. The first gas should go into either a factory, there we go, it is, or a reactor. With the other possibility, it is gonna be a factory indeed in this case. And this opens up a rather fast tech, but then again, we look at this, there's still no second gas taken here for Ryung. So what he could do is he could go 3cc very quickly while getting up to a cyclone, for example, for defenses. He could also go into widow mines, but there we go, we see a second barracks. This is also an alternative route you can take here. You can just go to barracks and into a factory and starport afterwards and stay a little bit lower on gas. You can also go 2-1 into a third base. You can just pump out tons of marines and get a ton of upgrades for them and then do a push with those and tanks. It all depends on what we get from the factory, but it seems there's gonna be actually a third barracks. Okay, so yeah, it seems to be that Ryung wants to put on some pressure. Alright, we've got a cyclone out, and there's gonna be double tech lab, so this is gonna be stim and combat shields here, and this could be with tanks, so this could be for like a bunker push. This could also just be a bio ball, and yeah, throw it in your opponent's face, but this will allow Ryung to put on a lot of pressure. On the other hand, he kind of needs to do something, because there's no engineering bay, there's no +1 going, there's no third base, there is no medivacs, so the tech is very, very low here for our Terran player. And Stats needs to identify this, so let's take a look at what he's actually seen. He's only seen a reactor barracks so far, and a couple of depots. That's not enough. And he's just happily going up to a third base. Little does he know, he needs like a third gate, possibly, or maybe even a fourth one, to actually hold this one. And if you want to hold this with blink, well, your blink is almost done, but yeah, you need to be across the map with your stalkers. You need to be poking, you need to be hitting that squad of marines, squad of bio units that's trying to come over. Okay, so this is apparently going to be a lot of marauders, as we can see. Marauders are being pumped out right now, and we have a starport and a reactor, so this is completely skipping factory units except for this one cyclone. And then the first push out is going to commence now, it seems, which is a little bit odd because medivacs are still quite some way off. The upgrades are about to finish, but maybe he just wants to boost the medivacs across the map to get to his bioforce and then hit immediately with those as soon as possible, basically. Oh, this is a nice pickoff. It's the observer here, so this is completely keeping stats in the dark. He did not scout anything at all, so he doesn't know about this, and he needs to be poking, he needs to make units. He does not need more observers. He's creating more observers. He needs like immortals. At least we have 4 gates now online. We have 5 stalkers in the main base, but this could still be ugly. Depending on how Ryung wants to play this, he could just grab the reinforcement units with his 2 first medivacs and then just boost them across and do a big poke at the 3rd base there. And if Stats doesn't see this, he doesn't have charge yet online. He won't have it for the fight. He doesn't have really any charge slots to tank damage. So he would need to completely rely on his Stalker micro. Okay, so the medivacs are empty. This is a little bit less committed. There could be more power in this push. And there's the 3rd CC. We also have +1 on the way, so it's a little bit of a middle of the road, which allows Ryung to do a strong poke now at the 3rd, but I kind of like it for stats again, because, I mean, he didn't really scout it, but in the end he didn't overreact to things he didn't scout. Needs to be careful though, there's gonna be medivacs trying to drop in here into the main, but he's already in position. And Ryung, oh boy, yes, don't boost into those stalkers. But now, well, we have the first Colossi, which is a big game changer, but now he needs to be careful. Of course, it is 3rd here. Ryung can try to take a fight, but I feel like his timing is about to be over. Charge, at least when charge is gonna be done. Well, as you can see, nothing's really happening here. Charge is almost complete. We have a lot of zealots already in position, Colossi in position, Sentry is in position, everything's there, so... Yeah, feels like this is a little bit of an odd timing. And the normal 3 Nexi expand pattern here for stats worked out perfectly. Fortunately, I can't pull up the income graph, so yeah. Not gonna able to show you how much actually stats did outmine Ryung in this portion of the game. But as you can see, workers are kind of evening out currently. And we have a little bit of a bigger army supply here for Ryung. But to be fair, I'd rather have a couple Colossus than 4 medivacs. Oh, okay. We have 6 medivacs. But yeah, this is a mine bio composition for now. Oh, this could be blindsiding here. Wow, going into stats natural. There's nothing here. No vision on that area. We have only the observer on the top, which completely slept on the job here. And while this is happening, while we're killing those gases, depowering the robotics bay and trying to fight off this army a little bit, we can just go out, sacrifice the last marine there, and then poke out this base on the left here, which is completely undefended at this point. The small force was able to... Ooh, wow. Nice Umbro there. Was able to pick off the remaining forces here. Oh, this is also huge. Another delay there. Well, next probe coming in again here. But this was a good cancel. Needs to be careful though not to get caught here. Tail end of this. Cyclone bye-bye. I want to see Marauder slow. I feel like, well, we have it actually. Yeah. Chasing him all the way back here to the base. Stance feels a little bit pressured maybe to do something here. But in the end, he's kind of still fine. This is what Ryung needed to really get back into the game. And it feels a little bit bad for stats right now. But yeah, let's see what he's doing. He could, for example, go just double expand. He can just, like, really bunker down on 4 bases. But he needs to defend this push first. Yeah. This one already has the anti-Colossus tech, and we do not have any additional AoE, it seems so far. There we go. First couple disruptors are joining the fray now. This is needed AoE damage. That was Storm, but we also already have our EMPs ready here. Let's see if Stats can pull off this defense. Feels like this army has been scaling beautiful here for Ryung. And first Colossus, sorry, Disruptor is gonna whiff here. Nothing happening. So we are on double robo, and see, there's so many disruptors in production. There's like 4. So it would bring us up to 6 if they would be here right now. Oh, that was a nice hit actually. Nice connection here. We see one more actually. Battery overcharge is gonna get blown down as well as the disruptor. That's... Wait, what? That one did survive for a long time. We had a huge shot here from the top coming in. But still, it's not gonna be enough. Ryung takes the victory here. 1-0 for our Terran player. Let's hop into the second game. Gonna be on Ghost River. And well, this man here in the top right is up 1-0. It is Ryung. And the lad here on the top left, it is Stats, a Blue Protoss player. He needs to come back here to win the next 2 maps in a row. Let's see what he's gonna bring on Ghost River. So Ghost River is a very interesting map, just because like there's so many things actually about this map which make it interesting and kind of dynamic in a way that other maps don't really work. So first of all, your main bases are very, very close by air, and you can open up those pathways here, the rocks and these mineral fields, and then just make a very, very quick and direct path to your opponent. Of course, also the air distance is very short. There's very nice spots for liberators for these 2 bases. In here, there's a huge space where you can just park your liberators or any drops or anything. And just be safe there and bring them back later. Wooderman drops, for example. As we can see, there's already the double gas opening, so it seems like the idea here for Ryung is to be aggressive. Of course, this also can just mean that you're safe against any aggression of your opponent. Like when we say, if 2 all-ins hit, usually the defender's advantage will be stronger there. But yeah, let's get back to the map. So expansion patterns are set. There is no real diversity here. You can't really choose where to take your 3rd base, for example, your 4th base. It's very, very linear. There is no real other options you could even consider taking on. Of course, you can always take a hidden base, but like for normal expansion patterns, right? There is no choices. And the expansions get further away from your opponent's main base, but also from your own main base, like very far apart. And yeah, that makes the later expansions rather safe, weirdly enough. But if your opponent's army is, for example, on the bottom and you have like your 5th base down here, then of course you can just counterattack into the main and into the infrastructure. So this is a very, very dynamic map. It can be very short games, but the long games, like counterattacks, are insanely strong on this map. Just because it's so easy to get out of position and those counterattacks arrive super fast. Go, command center here on the high ground for Ryung. Gonna be playing super safe, it seems, for now. Let's see what his idea and follow-ups are gonna be. Of course, this was being scouted, the double gas, but as we can see, looks to be a 2-1-1 for now. It's gonna be a delayed 2-1-1 though. Of course, not the very all-in-ish one where you take your base very late. Now poking in with the Reaper here. See what his opponent is up to. And Stats, well, is going actually for a Twilight Council. First here. Gonna get Blink on the way. And then probably gonna go into a Robo. Second gate, gonna come online here. Go, Blink is gonna be chronoed. And yeah, as I said, counterattacks are super strong. Oh, there we go, 3rd gate. So this is a little bit different already from Stats. He's gonna have way more units than he had last game. And this should be pairing up nicely with the build Ryung is doing here. This is gonna be 3 racks again, okay. It seems to be a little bit of a different push this time. As we can see, there's already a tank in production. But this is gonna be a push nonetheless again here from our Terran player. Go, Robo facility coming online. We've got a second pylon to power at least the Robo, if the one in the... What is this? The trap pylon I heard the other day. Everybody says it's a Notosis pylon. I won't judge. Yeah, so far nothing really happening. Both players playing very defensive until basically they have all the pieces they want to have and then go in. It's very different from, say, a Ryung or a Kyo, for example, Terran-wise, and how they approach the matchup. If they, or like Clem, if they have like a unit, they see potential in it and they want to do something with it. or like a Bjorn, right? Those people, they are always trying to poke and see if they can find an opening and get anything. Because they have so good map awareness that they usually do not lose those units, or at least get a trade. Like, they won't just lose them, right? Unless they really get surprised there. Excuse my English. Alright, so we've got some Stokers here in the front. We've got the third base coming online, but nonetheless, this is a 3-gate robot this time. And observers, of course, coming in. The charge feels a little bit faster than last game. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, this is looking good for stats. Oh, he's gonna lose the observer, which is gonna be a little bit bad there. Unfortunate. Get picked off. Nice snipe by Ryung. And okay, this is interesting. So the factory is, after building, I think, a couple tanks, maybe 3 tanks-ish, did relocate to make a reactor and is probably gonna locate back onto the tech lab to make more tanks. Let's see those. For now, this is gonna be a 3-tank push. We already have our upgrades in place. Combat shields is gonna take a little bit longer. That's just saying, let's screw this counterattack, go. I have blink, I can blink out, I can still recall. I have every piece in my toolkit available here right now. Cyclone's not gonna find anything. Did some scouting at least. So Ryung is looking where he can actually put pressure on it. There we go. SCVs are being pulled. By the way, +1. It's far from being done here. So this is very interesting that he's actually investing into this +1. Try to pick up the Marauder here. I love the micro action targeting here. Very beautiful from stats. Gonna retarget on the other Marauder here with a bulk of his stalkers, and then just gonna finish it with 1 stalker there actually. Gonna try to snipe tanks here. Overcharge gonna be pulled out, but seems like the firepower here is a little bit too strong for Ryung. Let's see if we can make the push really work, or if stats can kind of muster a defense. We already have an Immortal here, actually Colossus on the way there. And on the other side, Stalkers are doing great damage, so we've been losing like tons of SCVs. Now we get a recall. It's only 4 Stalkers remaining though, but look at the economy. This is like, what, 10 SCVs? This is what? I don't know, 8? Maybe 9? This is like 10 plus the ones in the gas, so yeah. We still got some SCVs, but this is pulling back here for Ryung. Okay, I like this decision. Just go home. You got the third, you got it killed. You've got some units. You lost economy yourself. And yeah, you also killed a lot of probes from your opponent. So you can just go back, but you don't have a third base on the way actually. So this is a little bit tough still. Like if you would have thrown down a third base in this instance, I would have liked it a little bit more. As it is, well, I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful here for stats. We have the worker lead. We have the third base coming online again. We have our AoE damage starting to compound. First Colossus out, second probably gonna be on the way very soon here. So yeah, looking very good for stats it seems. Got a similar army supply, and the poke potential or the push power seems to be greatly reduced here. Let's see though, so for now we're making a lot of SCVs, which is kind of weird. As I said, there's no third CC, there's no real economic transition. Why are you still making SCVs if you don't pull the boys, right? Like imagine you had like 20 SCVs with this army. The fight completely turns on its head, right? Most likely. I mean there's 1 Colossus, but it's only 1 actually. There's still no SCVs pulled. Yeah, so I don't really like this decision from Ryung here. Like he didn't do enough damage to play like he's playing right now. He took too much. On the other hand. He's pushing very slowly. This is allowing stats to get so many units. Oh my god. He has so many zealots now at this point. He's even getting his +1 has been finished. Medivac's trying to scout here a little bit for Ryung to see, hey, what's your army looking like? Are you moving? What's going on? Can we maybe get some free shots with the tanks? But man, this is so slow. And now stats like, alright, I have 20 zealots, let's go. I have 2 Colossi, let's go. And just drop those tanks. Overwhelm the Terran force. The Terran wasn't really reinforcing this strongly, and GG. As you can see, the first poke, it went very well for Ryung. Of course, he took a ton of damage, but then you kind of need to completely hunker down. You either go fully all in and pull all of your boys and just completely try to crush your opponent, or you go back and you try to macro it out, but then you need to throw down a third CC as soon as you pull back. He didn't do either of those things, and I feel like that was his biggest mistake, where he kind of still had a very good shot. to actually win the game, but throw it kind of away by just going middle down the road, making SCVs, trying to remake the economy while just pushing out and try to siege up, and then being very slow and methodical about his siege positioning. And it didn't work out because stats warped in like, I don't know, 15 more zealots or something, because Ryung was like 1 tank here, 1 tank here, and 1 tank over here. Yeah, like 1 tank here, that's 5 more zealots. 1 tank here, 5 more zealots. 1 tank here, 5 more. There you go. And then you lose the fight. Yeah. So, well played by stats, of course. And yeah, let's hop into the next game. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. And bottom right side delta, we have our red Terran player Ryung. And in the top left, we have our blue Protoss player Stats. So, at this point, I would love to remind you that this is a no health bar, no taps cast. This is an experimental way of casting the game for me and myself and everybody watching. I would like to hear some feedback if you guys enjoy this, or if you don't really enjoy this. Heard some comments on YouTube that there is, well, you should turn on health bars, right? I'm like, yeah, there is a playlist for this, specifically for this. And I've also heard a lot of people in Twitch chat, hey, this is great, man. Good job doing these casts with no bars and no taps. This looks so clean, right? So pick your poison. I'm for now doing more of these for a while, and I'm also doing standard casts with health bars. Of course, those are usually not the Korean games though. Those KR games I'm mostly doing with no health bars, no taps for now. The NA Cup stuff I'm usually doing with health bars. But yeah, also, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet, and give it a like if you liked the content. Now the game should start up in a little bit. Yeah, every little bit of support helps really a ton to get the channel going. Thank you everybody already for subscribing so far. So let's take a look at the builds. Again, we have a double gas here from our Terran player. This means, well, we can put on early pressure. This definitely means early tech. And we already see the factory coming in. There's gonna be a reactor after a Reaper. Factory being very early. Of course, the starport should most likely go up very early as well. Of course, he could go again with the 3 racks opening, which he did a couple of games so far already. And yeah, it is a very strong build, as you can see. But if you do it 3 times in a row, it's gonna be, well, kind of blind countered in a way. Eventually, right? So I want to see something different, and this feels like we get something different. We're gonna get a starport here. So this is gonna be tech first, and then gonna be bio upgrades. And yeah, let's see what he's gonna pull out of the hat here this time. I feel like Ryung really wants to... He kind of wants to end the game with a timing push. He doesn't really wants to go into a late game. At least that's how it feels, right? So let's see what he's gonna try this time. And Stats is just happy, like playing a macro game. He can go up to like 8 bases and be happy. He's a happy lad. As you can see, the Reaper Scout was actually very huge. He found the Phoenix coming in, so he could have intercepted this one actually, which he didn't, the hallucination. But it also did confirm the Twilight and the timing of the Twilight Council. So he knows, hey, the Twilight is on the way, Blink is still far off, didn't do anything super cheesy, there's no robot, there's no Stargate, it is indeed a Twilight. And yeah, Let's see if Stats is ready for this Widow Mine drop. So this time it's gonna be Widow Mines. Let's see. We have Stalkers already in the main base, and I feel like if Stats gonna react good, there's nothing coming with this Liberator. Like going in with the Reaper at the same time, I feel like this would actually be a little bit better. But it's just a Widow Mine. And the Widow Mine is just sitting there. Not even gonna get burrowed. This one's gonna get burrowed. It's gonna find one probe here. There we go. Oh, actually not. The one on the top did find one probe. There, we're just gonna sacrifice the mine for one probe. Can't get it out. And yeah, this was a very good defense by Stats. Sacrificing 2 probes or 2 Widow Mines is a trait you take any day. Okay, let's have a look at the follow-up. We got a Raven. That's interesting. Let's check the Raven spells. So we did get Interference Matrix here. And this is gonna be, again, 3 racks with double upgrades. So, like a standard tank marine 3 racks, for example, would be with 2 reactors. And then you go into slower combat shields, quicker stim. But yeah, this is gonna be with a little bit more marauders. This is gonna be stim combat shields at the same time. And I hope, let's check a little bit. I think there is a +1 going as well. There we go. So this could be a very strong +1 timing attack with double medivacs and 1 Raven to possibly disable Colossi. Stats has been going into Robotech very frequently here in this best of 3 so far. So Ryung is like, hey, alright, if you're gonna rely on 1 or 2 Colossi for defense, I can use a Raven there. And also, this Raven allows you to pick off observers if you find them. Without actually sacrificing a scan, which is nice. Oh, and this is not scouted. We have 1 observer just like randomly being here. On this side of the map, and we have like a couple stalkers poking out on this beautiful ocean here. Having a look out there. And yeah, this is the path the medevac is taken. Not gonna go through the observer, so the warning is gonna come very late here for Stats, and we need to see a very fast reaction. Because 2 stock is not gonna be enough for 1 full dropship marines. Going into 4 more gates here, going into Colossi range, going into +1. Everything's looking good in Stats Town. We have the stalkers at the front to poke away at the army coming across the map, but of course this time it's gonna be with medivacs. So if you don't kill them, well, you're not gonna, the damage is gonna be permanent. Drop is deflected here. It has been seen, of course, so Stats did warp in extra stalkers, and Ryung did not sacrifice any health of the dropship, which is nice, so he can always, for example, go into the 3rd while he pushes on the front with his main army. And yeah, seems like he's setting up for something of those sorts. Let's see what actually his plan is here. There's only going to be 1 Colossus, so kudo to Ryung if he can disable that one with his Raven and then get a good fight. Well, then he could possibly just take the game there. But yeah, let's see first. We already have charge online. And Ryung is just gonna decide to get 1 big ball, but this is already taking a little bit long. I mean, he's getting 2 more medivacs with reinforcements in as well, which is nice. He could drop into the main, like a Doom drop, all medivacs full, and then go, and then still disable the Colossus if it walks into the main base. But yeah, look at that. This is already over 10 Zealots. 2nd Colossus is in the game. We've got the double disable though. It doesn't really feel like this is a position that is, like, Stats can just hang a little bit back like this, use the Zealots to tank, use the overcharge, and now disable is done, Raven energy is gone, Colossus are here, and now Ryung needs to run. Like he's a little bit missing his timing windows, it seems. He has a lot of potential but doesn't really commit to it. And now, yeah, Stats just pushing this army completely back home. We've got Vikings on the way now. Wait, did the Raven did actually fall, it seems. A nice pick-off here for Stats. And there we are, back at Terranholm. Oh yeah, he knows it. Stats, don't siege observer there, man. Don't. Just doesn't make sense. Right, at least we've got a 3rd CC behind this. We have the Ghost Academy coming online. I want to see more... sorry, what is it called? The upgrades though. And there's no armory, there's no 2nd eBay. This is a little bit concerning. We already have The double forge being online here and producing for stats on the other way. We've got the 4th base coming up, almost online. Got a good probe lead. It's almost about 8 to 10 workers ahead here. And yeah, there's also the army lead. We already have AoE. It's only 2 Colossi. This should be the Disruptor follow-up again here from stats, since he did last game. By the way, thank you so much for the Prime 1 base. 1 base ace. Really much appreciated. Right, a couple zealots getting intercepted by a mine there on the south side. Stats actually going into 5th base. Okay, I love this. I love this. This is kind of greedy, but actually he is very safe. He has a good army. He knows this. He knows Ryung can't really kill him right now. Now he gets a scout on A. There's a lot of Vikings, so maybe I should go into something else. He's already transitioning into the disruptors, but this is kind of a point where I want to see, yeah, more gateways or maybe a second type of hack here. What is it called? The Templar Archives would be nice. Maybe DTs, Blink DTs is also a possibility. Of course, that's not AoE, but it can be a very powerful surprise tactic. Just blink in with some DTs. Ryung is getting his 4th base. So he is growing, but it feels like stats is outgrowing him a little bit. And the big thing are the upgrades. They just started 2-2 for Ryung. And we already have +2 weapons done here for stats, +3 on the way, and +2 armor on the way. So stats is gonna be ahead 1 upgrade, 1 attack upgrade for a long while here. Needs to be a little careful though. He's relying hugely on this Colossus for now in his composition. There is not too many disruptors with it for now, and yeah, he needs to get those online first. And then he can try to really take a fight here. Wow, going into it, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 space. Okay. That's just like, right, I have money. Let's make bases. I don't need extra tech. I already have 2 robos, that's enough. Just delaying this here with a couple zealots standing down there. It's kind of funny. He's making so many proxy gateways. This is cool. So many warp-in locations here. Just going more and more forward. Okay, now we need to see some Novas here. This needs to be a quick trigger. Okay, yeah, well, Ryung is just pulling back. Good for stats. A little bit lucky there. Could have sniped at least one of those disruptors, it feels like. And Ryung? Well, let's go CCs. That's his answer. Let's go late game. So let's see. There we go. Second starport. I love this. Just perfect. Caught that perfectly there. We've going into the fusion core. We're going into +1 ship weapons. So this is going to be a liberator transition here, coming online very shortly with range liberators as well. But it feels like stats is outgrowing. And he is taking a lot of the map with all of these warp-in locations. They allow for so quick, like fast warp-in zealots so close. This is also a gateway here. This is so crazy how Stats is playing this. He's making gates all over the map. He's going up to tons of gates here. And he's just placing them around the map to get fast warp-in points, to get instant reinforcements. So basically he's kind of, like those gateways, they basically have a defender's advantage. And there we go, big fight here. All of the AoE is kind of zoning out all the Terran army for now, but the Vikings are just gonna pick off the Colossus and now gonna need to make something happen here against the regular army, because if they don't, the disruptors with the normal warp-in gateway units should be enough to maybe defend this army, but actually gonna be overwhelming for now. And yeah, Stats was caught there a little bit out of position. There was a huge arc here for Ryung. And he did get down some nice EMPs. Now we need to see some good disruption novas to see if Stats can actually manage to break Ryung's army here. And seems good, yeah. We had a lot of zealots being warped in, as I said. Those fast warp-ins really coming in handy. Oh, if you can catch these reinforcements here, it would be great. Just gonna get a couple marauders here. Now, this is a rather mobile army, so it feels super weird if you say, hey, disruptors are mobile, but they are actually. Because you need to be so careful when you engage them. And yeah, this is looking great here. Just picking up everything. And Ryung doesn't seem to have an answer. The Liberator transition was a little bit late. There was no supply to really go into those Liberators, and now, well, the Disruptors did actually reign supreme. Everything's kind of falling apart. We still have a lot of play here left if Ryung wants to do it, but if you look at the supply, everything's super down. He would need to sacrifice a lot to actually get another army to really fight this one. It's not gonna happen. Stats gonna take the game. GG, well played by Stats here. And yeah, he's gonna knock out Ryung.